Namaskar. Welcome to the chapter number 2, Analysis Methodology. In this chapter, there will be approximately 15 lessons. We will go through that one by one. Under chapter number 2, Analysis Methodology, lesson number 1, Basic Rules in Studying the Self-Significations of a Planet. In this, we are going to study what are the basic rules while studying the self-signification of a planet. Before going to the complete signification of a planet, that is level to level study from planet to the star lord to the sublord significations, studying a self-signification of a planet is important. In that, what are the basic rules we have to follow in studying the self-signification of a planet? We are going to learn from this lesson 1. I will study each rule, points given, and I will explain one by one. A planet's self-signification has to be studied as follows. Number 1, the study has to be started from the cuspal lordship of the planet, as cuspal lord is the source. It means suppose a planet is Lagna Lord or 5th Lord or 7th Lord. That is the cuspal lordship is the source. So we have to study a planet's self-significations from the cuspal lordship. I hope you would have understood. Let us start from the cuspal lordship. Second, the study has to be done from cuspal lordship, that's what I said in the first point, and cuspal lordship to the OCC, occupying house, to the cuspal star lordship, and finally up to the cuspal sublordship. So left to right, we have to study from CL to OCC to CST and CSL. To know the self-signification strength, we have to study a planet self-significations from CL up to CSL, left to right. Third, if consequent levels CL, OCC, CST, CSL, in that the consequent levels are having supportive houses to each other, that planet's strength is increasing. It means a planet is having some favorable in CL, OCC also favorable, CST also favorable, CSL also favorable. It means each house present in this CL, OCC, CST or CSL, they are all supportive to each other. That planet strength is increasing. That can be favorable or unfavorable or mixed based on the event. Suppose if all the CL, OCC, CST, CS are all having unfavorable house for an event, automatically that is going to be unfavorable. If it is having mixed, it is going to be mixed. I hope you would have understood. Fourth, if the favorable house to an event or lagna signified by the cuspal lord, favorable house to an event or lagna signified by the cuspal lord is further favorably supported at this OCC, CST and CSL with the grouping of favorable houses, especially 1, 2, 3, 11 houses, it becomes a strong favorable key planet for the event. Key planet henceforth will be called as KP. What I'm saying, CL, OCC, CST and CSL. In that, if the CL planet, CL house is, for example, it is having favorable house for an event. Suppose for the event of marriage, it is having that 7th house. or 11th house or 5th house in CL. That is favorable house it is having in the CL, owner of the particular house. Suppose it is occupying 11th house or occupying 2nd house, occupying 5th house, which are all favoring the 7th house matters. And CST also favorable and CSL also favorable. Suppose CST is, say, for example, 3, 7, and 11. And CSL also, for example, it is fifth cuspal sublord. It means all the houses from CL to CS are all favorable to the 7th house matters. In that, role of 1, 2, 3, 11 houses, if they are all present, it becomes a strong favorable key planet for the particular event. What is the advantage of this? For in general, for any event, 1 and 11, because Lagna is always will be playing role for good thing also, bad thing also. If it is connected to 11, it is going to be favorable. If it is connected to 12th house, it is going to be unfavorable. Lagna can experience both favorable and unfavorable houses. So the role of Lagna is always important, whether it is playing along with the other favorable houses, especially 11th house, because 11th house is the house of satisfaction, a house of success, or it is giving the what do you call profit, or depending on the event, right? So second house also is for house of family, also house of money, also. Except for the event connected to the health, second house is not unfavorable to any event. So third house to the Lagna is always favorable to the Lagna, because it is going to give energy or thought process, effort. So 1, 2, 3, 11 houses. Of course, 5th house, 9th house are also favorable houses to the Lagna. But when they are connected to 11, it is going to be more favorable. So in short, 1, 2, 3, 11 houses, if they are also present in the grouping of the favorable houses for any event, if they are present, they are going to make that planet is strongly favorable. I hope you would have understood. If 8 and 12 house grouping are present in the self-signification, 8th house and 12th house are present, it indicates that planet will give obstacles or troubles to the Lagna through the houses, through the favorable house matters that is having. It means, for example, the same planet, if I'm talking about 7th Lord, for example, 7th Lord planet occupying, say, for example, 10th house. 7th Lord occupying 10th house. Suppose cuspal star Lord for 8 and 12. It means what? These 8 and 12 houses signified by the planet, it indicates Lagna will experience these houses through the planet. This planet will give trouble or obstacles to the Lagna. What matters? The 7th house is favorable to Lagna for the event of marriage in general. 10th house also is, important house for the event of profession. But for the event of marriage, 10th house is not much supportive. It means what? Through the 7th house, through the 10th house, Lagna will face obstacles. It means Lagna will face 7 and 10 favorable for the business or professional prospects, but 8 and 12 will give obstacles to these events, to this in 7th house, 10th house matters. Through that, Lagna will face obstacles. So it means what? The planet which are having 8 and 12 grouping, they are all unfavorable key planet for the Lagna. Depending on the grouping of favorable houses, the intensity of the unfavorable key planet will be there. I hope you would have understood. Next point. If unfavorable grouping of houses for an event are also present along with the 8 and 12, unfavorable key planet to the Lagna, right? Unfavorable grouping of houses for an event are also present along with the 8 and 12 houses, it enhances the problems to the event matters. It is unfavorable key planet for an event. It means, suppose the planet cuspal lord for 7th house, occupying, say, for example, 6th house, cuspal star lord for 8 and 12, for example. It means, first of all, if you study from left to right, cuspal lordship primary house is not supported at the OCC, further not supported by the CST. So 7th house matters are losing their strength. First point. Second point, unfavorable grouping of houses. Suppose for the event of marriage, 6th house is unfavorable, right? Because 12th house to the 7th house. And 8 and 12 houses are also unfavorable houses to the event, because obstacle causing houses and loss causing event to the event, right? Now, unfavorable house to the event, along with that 8th house and 12th house, when it is present, it is causing combinedly more unfavorable to the event. Just suppose 8 and 12 is not there. 7th lord occupying 6th house. It is showing weakness, yes. But that is not indicating strongly unfavorable or trouble-giving houses to the Lagna because of the absence of the 8 and 12. And of course, no further grouping to the 6th house also. Other unfavorable grouping also not there in the 6th. And importantly, absence of 8th house and 12th house, or 8th house, suppose 8 is present, 6 further supported by 8. Because a third house to the 6th house is 8th house. In the absence of 8th house, 6th house strength is going not much aggravated. When 12 is also there, 6 and 12 are all, 7th house to each other, they are going to balance. It means that unfavorable house intensity is going to be balanced. It is going to support, rather, we can say that. So when the presence of trouble-giving houses to the Lagna also added to the unfavorable house to an event, then only the intensity of the unfavorable, house matters is going to be more. I hope you have understood. If both favorable and unfavorable houses are present in the self-significations, it is a mixed key planet for the event. If both favorable and unfavorable houses are present in the self-signification. Suppose it is having both. For example, 7, 11, 2, 5 is there. And 3, 7, 11. Instead of suppose 3, 7, 11, CST is having 4, 8, 12. So it is having both favorable and unfavorable. So it means what? It is indicating unfavorable key planet. Depending on the grouping and depending on the grouping of the favorable houses, grouping of the unfavorable houses, that unfavorable, when we are saying it is a mixed key planet, the intensity of the mixed key planet through the, whether it is favorable side on the higher or unfavorable is on the higher side can be ascertained. Next point, if the strength of favorable or unfavorable houses in a self-signification is in descending order. When you're talking about CL, OCC, CST, CSL, the houses in these levels can be in any of these, or in consequent levels, or in alternate levels, the favorable or unfavorable. But the houses in CSL will be always stronger because that 7th cuspal sublord is stronger than the 7th lord. Because 7th cuspal sublord is the authority planet. This is the basic. But depending on the other houses in the CL, OCC, CST only, this strength is going to be there. That you have to keep it in mind. Basically, CSL is stronger than the cuspal lordship. This is a result. This is source. And next comes the OCC, occupying house. Finally, it is talking, the strength is given to the CST, cuspal star lord ownership. Hope you would have understood. Hence, based on grouping of favorable and unfavorable houses in self, each planet is grouped as favorable key planet or unfavorable key planet or mixed key planet for the Lagna and for the event. Why I'm saying that is for the Lagna, when that everything is going to be experienced by the Lagna only, even for any event, unfavorable houses are present for the event, definitely Lagna only is going to face. But when apart from the unfavorable houses to an event, unfavorable house to the Lagna also added, then only the unfavorable, impact of that event is going to be more. Similarly, in the presence of favorable houses to an event, that Lagna's favorable houses 1, 2, 3, 11 are also present, then only that favorable planet also is going to be very strong. Hope you'd have understood the basic, rules, what we have to keep it in mind while studying the self-signification of the planet. The next important thing while studying the self-signification is studying each planet's self-signification strength along with the support planets it is having. We know that each planet will be having some support planets by Rasilot, conjoined planet, aspected by planet, or aspecting to nodes, and other, indirectly connected planets. So that we have already studied. So each planet, while we are studying self-significations, left to right when we study, we have to look at the planets which are there in the support, their strength also. It means a planet self-signification has to be studied along with its self-support planets. Second point, a planet's favorable or unfavorable signification strength is further reduced or increased by the favorable or unfavorable key planet in its supports. Suppose a favorable key planet is present. A planet is favorable in itself. Planet is favorable in self. Suppose in its supports, if it is having favorable key planets, suppose there are 2, 3 planets are with favorable significations, or in the support to this self planet, this favorable planet strength is going to be increased. Suppose instead of favorable key planets, a favorable key planet is having strong unfavorable key planets in its supports, that favorable strength is going to be reduced. I hope you would have understood. Next, if a planet is having 1, 2, 11 or primary favorable house to an event in self-signification, especially cuspal lordship or cuspal sublordship, it will get strong support from the favorable key planet in supports. Suppose there can be many favorable key planets in its supports. If that planet, especially in CL, cuspal lordship or cuspal sublordship, if it is having Lagna or second house, I said second house is not good for the health prospects. Lagna, second house, and 11th house. In case of 11 also, if the 11 is Badaga Lord to the health, that also is going to be, we cannot take it, 11 is always favorable. So basically, 1 to 11, Cuspal Lord for Lagna, Cuspal Lord for second house, Cuspal Lord for 11th house, or Cuspal Sublord of these houses, that planet, if it is having favorable key planets in its supports, Lagna Lord will get the favorable key planets strength, so impact strongly. Second Lord, because that planet is having owning the favorable important houses in self-signification, the two source or result that will easily get the support from the other planets. Apart from that, if it is, say, for example, primary favorable house for an event. Suppose for the event of marriage, 7th house is primary house. Suppose if for the event of professional prospects, 6 and 10 are favorable houses, primary house. Suppose a planet in CL or CSL is having either 7, according to the event, the primary house, if it is present, that also will get the impact of the favorable key planet in its supports. That's what it has been given. A planet is having 1 to 11 or primary favorable house to an event present in self, that is especially CL or CSL, it will get strong support from the favorable key planets. Does not mean that other planets without the 1 to 11 or favorable houses to the event, primary house to the event, other supportive houses may be there in CL. Does not mean that they will not get the impact of the favorable key planet in its supports. They will also get, but the influence or impact of the favorable key planets will be significantly more if these 1 to 11 or primary house are playing. I hope you have understood. Similarly, on the unfavorable side, if your planet is having Lagna, Lagna is common for both favorable and unfavorable. Lagna is going to experience both favorable and unfavorable impact from the support planets. Lagna are 8th house and 12th house. We are talking about 2 and 11 on the favorable side, 8 and 12 on the unfavorable side. And apart from that, Badhaga Lord and unfavorable primary house to an event. If your planet is having these houses in self, especially in CL or CSL, it will get strong support from the unfavorable key planet in supports. It means what? When you're studying self-signification of your planet, this is Lagna Lord or second Lord or 11th Lord on the favorable side, or 8th Lord or 12th Lord, of course, Lagna also will come into play, and Badhaga Lord. If they are all present as the cuspal lordship or cuspal sublordship, please understand, when I'm saying cuspal lord or cuspal sublord does not mean that occupying house, cuspal star lordship houses are all having these houses will not have any impact. Everything will have impact. But I am saying that source and result are having such houses, the influence will going to be significant. So 1 to 11 primary house or 1, 8, 12 Badhaga unfavorable primary house. On the unfavorable side, this is on the favorable side. So that we have to, consider, give importance to the self-signification CL and CSL if they're having these houses. Then the impact of the favorable or unfavorable key planet in supports will be there. That we have to keep it in mind. Next point. Strong key planets, free planets, nodes, significant Rasi Lord or special aspect planet will give more influence on a planet as support planets. What it is said here, out of the support planets, if the planets with strong key planets, free planets in supports, nodes in supports, significant Rasi Lords in supports, and the special aspect planet that we said from Jupiter, Mars, and Saturn, if they are all present through the special aspect, they will give their influence more on that planet. So importantly, we have to give importance to the free planets and strong key planets. They will indicate that the planet which are having that strong key planet in its supports and free planets in supports, automatically their influence is going to be more. Okay. Then out of them, a free planet will be significantly strong in self. Here we are talking about the self-signification. A planet is a free planet in self. Suppose cuspal lordship and cuspal sublordship. Suppose 7th cuspal lord or 7th cuspal sublord. 7th lord or 7th cuspal sublord. If this planet is suppose Jupiter is a free planet, being the cuspal lord, free planet, and having some houses, ownership for the one house and cuspal sublord for the same house or any house, a planet, free planet in itself, this planet is always stronger in self-signification. Free planet is strong in self-signification because no planet in its star. So that planet has to give its significations on its own to other planets. Next point. The natural Karakatva planet for an event will get the influence of the support planets also significantly. Suppose for the event of marriage, if you take Venus is the Karaka planet. If Venus planet is having favorable or unfavorable key planets in its supports, Venus will get the influence of these favorable or unfavorable key planets for the event of marriage. That planet will get the impact strongly. It means Lagna, second house, 11th house, and favorable primary house will get the favorable impact more, and 1, 8, 12, Badaga and unfavorable primary house will get the unfavorable key planets impact from the supports will be more. And similarly, the natural Karakatva planet, Venus, if it is getting significations, favorable support from the support planets or unfavorable support from the support planets, that will get this significant, influenced by the support planets. So these points we have to keep it in mind while we are analyzing the self-signification of a planet along with its supports. These are the important basic rules we have to keep it in mind. I hope you would have understood. So far we have studied in this lesson on the basic rules, important rules we have to follow in studying the self-signification of a planet. In the next lesson, we'll be discussing about the important points other than the rules. What are the important points we have to look into while analyzing the self-signification of a planet? Thank you.